Yeah. Play it. Go. Woo. 1, 2, 3, 4. For opening. Give it to me. I want it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Give It To Me, I Want It, you might have noticed that what I was playing, we wasn't getting in the way of each other. Even though I was playing a lot, thumping, but Greg was playing around the beat. See, like right now what we're doing, notice this bass drum, we're kind of working together, right? We're gonna show you this other song, Give It To Me, that we just played. And notice, instead of playing with me, he plays around me. You know what I'm saying? This is with me. We're gonna show you how to get around me, you see? There's a big difference, you see? This is with me. And now we're gonna show you how to play around me. Let's do that intro thing, you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna just do it just bass drum, okay? Just the beat. And we will just give you some bass drum and bass, okay? Here we go. Bang, Okay. You ready? Yeah. Okay, let's do a little bit of Give It To Me, okay? Here we go. Here we go. Each other. Check it out. You got it? You didn't lose the beat, did you? You still got the beat? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Watch what happens when you put the bass drum and snare drum playing the backbeat. It kind of like brings it all together. And again, notice we're not getting in each other's way, okay? Check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. What he's doing, put all your beats together. When I count to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, hey. You see how syncopated that is? But now by itself, it sounds totally different, because when I come in and fill up that void, now the beat all comes together like this. Greg and I have so much syncopation going on, Butch has to play like a solid chord type situation. Even though he can move a little, it has to be solid and more sustained, more flowing. Otherwise, if he gets syncopated too, it might be a little bit too busy. You know what I'm saying? Now watch what Butch does. Pay attention to him, how he plays around what Greg and I are doing. 1, 2, 3.
on that?
Like Greg Rico, right? You know what? That made me flashback, man. I mean, some of the old gigs. You know, what was your favorite gig?
Oh man,
you know,
you
got to think back. You know, Sly and the Family Stone, ladies and gentlemen, Sly and the Family Stone.
Well, you know what? Winchester Cathedral, remember that? That's going way back.
Now you're taking
first
me back
started.
now.
Yeah, after hours. We used to play from 8 till 1:30, and then play till 6 in the morning from 3 to 6.
You know what was good about that? That
great,
helped
man.
us get our chops together.
Get our chops.
You know, playing and playing and playing and playing and playing.
And if we didn't do the after hours, we rehearsed. Remember?
I'm telling you.
We rehearsed.
That was it. That was the thing that really helped tighten everything up.
I was just telling someone that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and that's what we try to encourage a lot of the young people to, you know, today to do is you got to play. You got to get on your acts and play and play and play, and it takes a lot of time and energy.
You got to live it.
Yeah, and to me, something that stands out in my mind. Well, let me ask you, what was the biggest concert that stands out in your mind? I was going to tell you mine, but
you know, the biggest, I guess, would be, you know, as far as the sheer energy and the people and everything, it would be Woodstock.
Okay, what was it about Woodstock though that took you out? Then I tell you what took me out. I mean, what was highlighted in your mind about
on the
Woodstock?
performance or the experience?
Yeah, well, both, because I mean, okay, we had been to Winchester Cathedral. We did all the gigs and stuff.
Right.
We did the first album, A Whole New Thing, and we did now Dance to the Music. That was like, you know, big on the charts and stuff, and you know, all these things, all the successful gigs, and now Woodstock. What was it that stuck out in your mind about Woodstock? And then I tell you what, you know.
Well, the feeling, the feeling, overwhelming feeling of the energy that was coming from the whole thing. You know, the musicians and the audience that were there. Right. It was really, someone was asking me, again, I was talking about this a couple weeks ago, it was an interview or something, and I remember it was really different because we played for near those size audiences before, like Isle of Wight.
Right,
you know, there was different gigs. There was a lot of festivals back then, but there was nothing that had that. It really was a special thing.
Yeah.
It really was very unique.
Yeah, and you know what tripped me out is that, you know how we used to always do those songs and we would, you know, and we would like segue into the next song.
Right.
You know, and we like one song into the next song, into the next song.
Right.
And you never did know, you never knew what the audience reaction was. And when we played that last song and when we went off stage for the first time, we could really hear the reaction.
Yeah.
The roar of the audience is like,
wow. Was that for you? That was your...
Yeah, that was a rush for me.
Yeah, right.
Because when we came back and played after the encore, now with that feedback, we went into a whole nother level. You know, and from that time on, we knew there was a new zone we could tap into.
I don't remember the wave coming back from when we stopped. I remember it from higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were higher, it was just everybody went higher. You could hear higher.
You know,
that was
and
powerful.
I think that energy for Sly and the Family Stone was carried over into other songs. But
Yeah.
I know that when I talk to a lot of drummers, like I talked just when we took a break a minute ago,
Right.
and I asked him, I said, who's your favorite drummer? And he said, Greg Rico, and some of those beats, you know. And but what's interesting also that a lot of people might not know is that when Sly and the Family Stone started, I had been playing with my mother, she's playing piano, and we worked together for years, and it was working with her that I created the style, right, of thumping and plucking. And for a long time, I didn't play with drums. So now, here I come playing with a drummer, and it's like, one thing that was beautiful is that we didn't clash.
No.
That's why we can play grooves like we was playing just now, which is very syncopated or complicated, and we don't clash.
We never really even talked about this stuff.
We don't only connect here,
Right.
we connect here and here.
Yeah, exactly.
1, 2, 3. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? is called Maria. That's my daughter's middle name, Latia Maria. And the reason I'm telling you that is because, see, sometimes when you write a song, you have to reflect on something that's beautiful in your life. So this song also makes me reflect on the beautiful island of Morea in Tahiti, you know what I'm saying? So that's how that became her name. Now, the thing about this song is that I'm playing lead bass on it, which is kind of unusual to take the lead with the bass. So I had to kind of like add a little color to the lead notes. For example, kind of like phase the sound and put a little delay on it because it like helps color the notes. Check it out. Hear the delay? But see, there's another part of the song too, because it also goes into like another personality of Maria, because there's more than just that side. So check out when it gets into this part. Now if you notice, whew, got a little funky there, didn't it? What y'all doing back there? What y'all doing back there? You know what I'm saying? I was sliding. You have to kind of like drag the notes. You kind of like lay back on it when you get to the funk. You know what I'm saying? You can't just play like this. You can't do that. No, that. No, you have to kind of like slide it to make it funky, like. But check this out too. Now notice on the other song, Give It To Me, Greg and I were playing like a syncopated thing, playing around each other. But now this time he's playing with me. We're walking together. So check out what Greg is playing with me. Just bass and drums. See what I'm saying? So we walking together, all right? But now, when we played the other song with the syncopation, Butch had to play more sustained. Otherwise, if he was syncopation too, then we would like be getting in each other's way. But now on this song, he has freedom of movement because Greg and I are walking together. Watch what Butch does, okay? Watch the freedom that he has now. Give it to me, Butch. Ow. See how you can use that freedom? Ain't got freedom. Wow, Butch got freedom. Wow. Got freedom. So remember that. If the bass and drums are locked in together, then the other instruments, your guitar player or your organ player or your keyboard player can have more freedom, okay? So that's how we put this together. But now when we get back to the pretty part, notice Butch has to be more sustaining, okay, on the Maria part. Check it out. One, See, he has to be more sustaining like this to give me support while I play the lead. So that's Maria, y'all.
Toma arigato gozaimashita.
Play it, Butch. Wow. Ain't nothing like some good old B3. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's it. See that? Now that. No, see that. The guy next door was talking about that before we came back in just now, and he was saying, how did he do that? He was talking about the different flavors like that, and the other songs from the jam. And I was trying to explain to him the makeup of the group and what really made the group very successful with the different elements.
Yeah.
B3, nothing like B3.
Nothing.
You know.
Nothing.
Then the funk box.
Yeah.
Having the funk box off there. You know, clavinet. You know, Herschel playing the clavinet sounds and stuff. And you know, a lot of folks don't realize too that coming out of Sly and the Family Stone, when I put this group together, Hot Chocolate, to start recording, and I'll be the producer and writer, you was there.
I was
You was
right there. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The only thing was I wasn't on bass.
Right.
And I never forget that night at Bimbo's, you know, the club in San Francisco, when Hot Chocolate was playing, and I came up there and set in for the last song, and everybody kind of looked at each other and looked at the bass player that was playing previously, and it's like, I think you just lost your ear.
That's it.
And for Graham Central Station, I think that we had a very unique sound. But to you, what do you think was one of the highlights as far as gigs are concerned? What do you think?
As far as
You
gigs.
when you flash back
Wow,
to
as
some
far
of
as
the
gigs. You know, I look back, I like the orphanage. That whole period of time, like when we were just doing, actually we were like, kind of like top 40, but we were doing our own material.
Exactly.
All the stuff that we put, that put together, and it was like, just with full of energy. The cover tunes that we did, it was like Graham Central Station flavor.
Maybe your baby. Remember we played Human Kindness Day in Washington, D.C.
D.C., right, with
and
Stevie.
Wonder's
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And we had nerve enough to do a remake of his song, Maybe Your Baby.
And he
The
liked
nerve.
it. Yeah, he liked
And
it.
he liked it.
He liked it. He liked it.
We was pretty
yeah.
bold.
Yeah.
But then
It
what was
fun.
really cool about that when we played at Steve, what's the name of the place? Steve something mall up in Boston. I remember Stevie was there that night, and it was on radio.
Yeah.
And he came up on the stage and sung the song with us.
Yeah.
Man,
That was
awesome.
That was it.
But the thing
that
of it is too, is that recently now, any gigs stand out in your mind that we've played recently?
Yeah, I go over to Japan,
Okay, now I knew you was gonna say that.
I mean, this is like the Blue Note.
Okay.
Shoot. It's Osaka, Tokyo, Nagoya, all these. It's like the way the energy that you get.
I know.
And everybody knows your stuff too. So you get to play what you play.
Well, what do you think? What do you think people like about our band? What do you think people like about Graham Central Station? And that makes them get up and dance and boogie and jump and just really get into it. What do you think? What do you think that is?
Well, to me, I think it's the rhythm, the energy. It's the way it's been put together. With the bottom, the combination of how the foot works with the bass. And then one unique thing is how Herschel and I work together in the group, because when we started, it wasn't too many groups with two keyboard players.
Right.
They were usually clashing.
Exactly.
But we had a thing to where Herschel kind of held down the clavinet and the synthesizers, and I held down the organ and the piano stuff.
Right.
Which is a a gospel element that just kind of lend itself to, to the sound,
I think when you just kind of like just look at the overall picture, when you take all those elements together, all the talent that the individuals possess, the most important thing that I think that really held it all together was the love.
That was it.
Because the one thing about it, the love that
Most
we
definitely.
have for what we do is reflected
Yeah.
in our music.
Most definitely.
And I mean, with that, you can just strike up any groove.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, you can tell he loves what he's doing, right? And I love what I'm doing, right? You put it all together, you call it heart music. That's what I'm talking about. This is a song called Thumper, and I think you'll see why. 1, 2, 3, ah.
So we like to explain about thumper. Basically, the song is called that because that's what it's about, thumping. And if you notice, it's kind of like a rhythmic thing going on between the bass and drums. I'm using my fuzz phaser, which mostly is in the phase mode. And if I'm playing it like rhythmic, like drums, and notice Greg can play along with me on that to make this like a, it's like a talking to each other drum-wise, you know? 1, 2, 3, oh. And the way I'm getting that effect is when I have it in the down position, it's more like, and the more I raise my foot up, the more it opens up. It's kind of like talking. It's kind of like talking, you know what I'm saying? And then the other thing I was using is my jet phase, you know? Now it's different from this because it's continuously moving the sound. With this, as I move my foot up and down, I change the sound. But here, once I step on the pedal, it continues to move the sound. So basically I can get like a nice long sustain. Now as far as like the thumping action I was using, once I got through the pedal thing, I just got into straight up thumping, you know. But I can add some plucking in there too, you know. But now with all that I'm playing, Greg has to be very careful of what he plays. Now notice what he's playing. 2, 3, 4. Now unlike the first song that we did, we noticed we was doing some things where we were kind of like a lot of syncopation. Now because I'm playing so much, Greg has to more or less stay in the pocket to some degree. He has to more or less stay locked in. Okay, check it out again. 2, 3, 4. But now the key is not only what you're seeing on top. Check out just the bass and the bass drum, because that's the key. That's what's really locking in. Check out just the bass drum and the bass. 1, 2, 3, 4. You check that out? He going dum, dum. Play the bass drum by itself, Greg. 3, 4. See how he's locked in? Now, start that pattern, and then I join in. You kind of see how I can get away with playing so much because he's locking in with that right there. It sounds simple, but that little ta-da he puts in there really adds a lot. Go ahead, Greg. Now add your snare drum and the rest of the stuff with it. See, it's locked in. Now I have the freedom to do whatever I want. Check it out. Since he's so locked in, I can even get real fancy, like. Now that's a lot, right? But it's not a lot if he stays locked in. 2, 3, 4. Now notice when we playing all that, check out what Butch has to play. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's to play fills. So if you put it all together, it's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you have it. Thumper.
Sure feels good to me. I hope it feels good to you too. You know, when I think back, it's really a blessing to have been able to come up with a style of thumping and plucking and so forth. Kind of all happened by accident, which you've learned in previous stories, working with my mom, her on piano, me on bass, and then my style became popular through Sly and the Family Stone, and then later on more popular through Graham Central Station. But the thing of it is as I reflect on the fact that it was a blessing to have been in such a group, to play concerts like Woodstock, which Greg and I got a chance to talk about, to be able to experience forming my own group, Graham Central Station, and to have played a lot of the things that Butch and I were talking about and reflecting on earlier. And so today I'm really grateful that people like yourself like what I do. You like my music, you like my bass playing, and I'm thankful for that. And I'm also grateful that we got a chance to spend a little time together talking about my thumping and plucking, talking about the various pedals that I use, talking about the music that we play, how it's the syncopation, you know, that clashing between the bass and the drums and the part the keyboards would play, depending on what the bass and drums was doing. And I hope you really understood what I was trying to tell you and demonstrate to you. But the bottom line is this: it has to come from the heart. You know, it's a lot of things that we can learn from other people and learn from each other, and I will continue to try to learn from you and try to share with you the gift that was given to me. But what we play, it has to come from the heart. And different grooves, you know. You know, that's like from the heart, right? I mean, that's from the heart, you know? Stuff like that, you know? And it's not that it's so hard to play, so complicated, but if you kind of like feel it, you know, if you feel it, if you're happy with it and you're projecting that feeling, then you're going to make the person that's listening to you feel it too. Even if it's a slow groove, or even something fast. Doesn't matter, you're going to feel it as long as it's from the heart. So listen, what we're going to do is just continue to do our best to give you what's coming from our heart. We're going to continue to try to reach your heart. I'm definitely going to try to do that with my music, with the bass. And, you know, check out this whole thing, run it back a few times, listen to it a number of times, try to connect with what I'm trying to give you. Try to let it sink deep down in here. Don't just let this be an intellectual exercise, you know what I'm saying? Don't just listen from the surface. Rewind this tape, play it back, and check it out, because really, it's from the heart. Just want you to know I love you. You know what I'm saying? Are you tired yet? Well, I hope you're not. We're not either. But guess what? The tape is only so long, and we have to kind of wind it up. So I guess you're gonna just have to hit the rewind button. You know what I mean? But as far as we're concerned, we out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4. having too much fun. Say ya. Woo! 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 Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Long Ranger. Hey! All right. And this is what you call a soft shoe. That's the scoop.